critical minerals and the rationale behind royalty reforms. Be it clean energy, be it advanced manufacturing, or sensitive defense applications, they are not found everywhere. There is one big block and a small area is located where this rare earth mineral is located that are often controlled by a few countries. Hello and welcome to Prep Alpine, the next generation UPSC institution. We are continuing with our high yield UPSC series where we discuss some of the most probable topics that have the maximum probability of being asked in UPSC prelims, mains, and interview examinations. The topic for the day are critical minerals and the rationale behind royalty reforms. So India aims to become Viksit Bharat by 2047, that is, when we complete 100 years of our independence. And one of the most strategic pillars of this reform are the critical minerals that are going to be the backbone of India's 21st century economic, technological, and security systems. Be it clean energy, be it advanced manufacturing, or sensitive defense applications, every other area needs critical minerals. But the question arises that what is so critical about these minerals? So now let us understand what are these critical minerals. So the first and the foremost thing important about critical minerals is that they are scarce, concentrated, and hard to substitute. That means geologically they are scarce. They are not found everywhere. Secondly, they are concentrated. That means that there is one big block and a small area is located where this rare earth mineral is located, which means that there is a lot of processing that is required to extract that mineral out of the big rock. That is why they are called rare. And lastly, there are concentrated supply chains that are often controlled by a few countries. Examples: lithium, cobalt, nickel, rare earths, graphite, cesium, rubidium, zirconium, etc. All these are either used in electronic vehicles or batteries or semiconductors or chips that you use in your telephones, laptops, and every other thing. You are surrounded by critical minerals. And now, India is also increasing the demand for its critical minerals day by day because we are moving towards heavy industrialization. And to reform this, India recently introduced royalty reforms in case of critical minerals. So, before understanding the reforms that have been introduced by India, we need to understand that globally there are two kinds of models that are being used for royalty. The first one is the fixed royalty. That means a constant amount has to be paid. No matter how much you mine, no matter how much you extract, doesn't matter what is the price, any increase, any decrease, a fixed amount has to be paid. Say 100 rupees, then 100 rupees has to be paid if you are extracting 1 gram, 2 gram, or 100 gram. Then comes ad valorem royalty. That is, this changes as per the value. Ad valorem means value change. So as the price increases, the royalty increases. As the price decreases, the royalty decreases. That means if there are fluctuations in the market, then the royalty will change. And now India has moved towards this ad valorem royalty. So this gives certain benefits to India. Example, during cases of extreme price volatility, this shields investors from downturns, that if suddenly there has been a price drop, the investors do not face sudden losses. It allows the governments to benefit from price booms. Suppose the government fixed a royalty at 100 rupees and suddenly the price shooted to 1000 rupees, then the government has to bear a loss. So this ad valorem royalty model shields the government from such losses. And lastly, It aligns with international practices in strategic minerals. So now India has revised its royalty structure, which you can read. Some of the examples include that graphite has now moved towards 2% ad valorem for high value graphite, and low grade graphite is 4% ad valorem. Similarly, different other changes has been made. And the purpose behind this is the different fluctuations that in the recent times we have observed in the global market due to geopolitical shocks. This reduces the deterrence for the companies, this increases the auction participation and accelerates discovery to production pipeline for critical minerals because they are going to be very important in the coming years. And in the recent times, we saw that since we were using older auction regimes or the royalty model, the auction mechanism in India did not work. That is, the investors did not want to invest in India's critical minerals sector. So, to reform this, India had to implement these reforms. But still, the question arises that are royalty reforms enough? That is, if you change the royalty model or if you bring ad valorem price model, then is the complete problem of the critical mineral sector solved? Because there are certain other structural bottlenecks which are present. For example, India has not yet completed its geological mapping of entire rare earth minerals or critical minerals. Then we have weak processing infrastructure, especially rare earths and battery minerals. We have high capital intensity, complex approval procedures, regulatory overlaps. We have technology dependence on foreign countries. And lastly, fragmented value chains, which prevent the domestic industries from sourcing minerals locally. Thus, royalties are just one part. The other parts need to be addressed so that the critical minerals become an attractive investment segment for the investors. And for that, we need to accelerate geological surveys using different technologies like LIDAR, hyperspectral imaging, deep seismic mapping, and satellite tools. And ISRO can play a very important role in this sector. Secondly, we need to build domestic processing and refining capacity because in the current global geopolitical scenario, we cannot depend on any other country for these minerals, be it R&D, be it technology partnerships or pilot scale facilities, all need to be accelerated in India. Then we need to streamline approvals and incentivize exploration so that more and more companies are interested in doing so. We need to strengthen our international partnerships, especially those with the mineral rich nations. For example, Australia, Argentina, Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, Namibia, and we also need to join emerging global critical minerals alliances so that we can ensure supply diversification, technology sharing, and joint ventures. Then we need to create strategic reserves that in case there is some geopolitical calamity across the world, then in those situations, India can use these reserves. And lastly, we need to integrate mining with other national industrial missions. For example, Make in India. For example, the production linked incentive schemes, Atmanirbhar Bharat, defense and semiconductor roadmaps so that we create a concentrated and comprehensive mapping of all these schemes and all these aims so that the goals that we want converge with each other and not diverge. Because only royalty reforms will solve just one problem or one pillar of this entire sector. Completely reforming needs to focus on other challenges that we have discussed above because critical minerals are going to be the backbone of Viksit Bharat 2047. So that's all for this video. If you want more such videos, Please subscribe to the channel and keep watching Prep Alpine. Thank you.